you have also transitioned to being a filmmaker, like one of my favorite people, Issa Rae. So tell me a little bit about that transition from being an actress, really getting your start in the church, moving to plays and theater. How did you decide to pick up the camera and get behind the camera? And what was your first experience doing that?
Ooh. I promised myself I would not get emotional when it comes to this particular question, because for Black women, we really gotta work. We really gotta work for what we want, and we gotta do 10 times as more as our counterparts. That's just what it is. And um, constantly being out on the circuit, auditioning, going to casting calls. If you've never done a casting call, it's like going to a cattle call. A whole bunch of people waiting to go in, perform in front of some casting directors and producers. And I know at times for me, I've had casting directors or, those people in those rooms, I've had some stuff said to me um, that would break anybody else. Now, I'm not going to say I wasn't discouraged and my feelings weren't hurt, but I kept going. And it's kind of, unfortunately, it's like when you're doing this, I hate to equate it to being in a some form of abusive relationship, that constant rejection, because you're going to face rejection. You're going to get 1,000 no's, 1,001 no's, maybe a yes. Then you might get a yes, but you're going to get more no's, and you have to be ready for that. And no matter how good you are, and what I've dealt with personally and going into those rooms, my boobs are too big. Um, I'm not light enough. My hair is not long enough. I don't have um that ambiguous look, that if you ever look at commercials, most of the time it has those ambiguous, women of color. And you're starting to see more of, our darker hued women, Black women, in these commercials. But before, growing up for me, I really didn't see that too much. And it was the constant thing of making me feel like I wasn't good enough, and that I would never be a leading lady because of how I looked. Like, you have to look a certain way, you got to be this small, and you can't, you're too big, like too big, me too big. Like, okay. And those things weigh on you. So that in and of itself is one of the reasons why, after a while, it became, I'm not waiting on anybody to give me anything when I can do it and create it myself. I can team up with other creatives to put together and form the characters and the stories that I want to tell. And that's what led me ultimately, after a while, to be like, yeah, I want to do this, and I want to create, there are certain characters I want to play. And I was told I couldn't play those characters. And I was like, no, you lying. Yes, I can. And I'm going to afford myself the opportunity to play those characters. And here we are now, where, I was able to create a character that I wanted to play that was completely different from other things that I've done. Because mostly people love me in comedy. I love comedy. I love making people laugh. But that segues into, my feature film, Providence. So we're currently in post production, the last phase of post production. So the hope is I can do a premiere sometime this year. At least get that in, because I would love to. I would love to, really highlight everybody that was involved and give them their night where they can walk the red carpet and they can get their acknowledgments and get their love, because a lot of people helped me during this project, with this project. Um, and I feel like I owe them that, because they believed in me enough to come on, and not, in an unconventional way, knowing that I was paying for everything out of pocket. So if I couldn't like really give you the money that I wanted to pay you, I fed you. I made sure everybody was good. Your gas, your tolls, whatever you need somewhere to stay, whatever anybody needed, I got you.